Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Hey. Mm. Cheers to a week over. While we're waiting on folks to join, go to coopedup.com to see what I post there and to sign up for my emails. You can go to TikTok and Instagram and anywhere else. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in most places. And if it's not I'm Cooped Up, it is Cooper Gotch. Click the bell wherever you are watching or listening to this so that you get notified every time I come live and post stuff. And last but not least, if you ever want to text me, say, hey, what's up? What's up? 214-949-8599 is the number. I can't do that in opposite order. I would be a horrible weatherman. But yeah, sorry I'm a few minutes late. Hey, Mama. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I just was downstairs wrapping up the week with the kids and such. Picked them up from school, did our 7-Eleven run, and just lost track of time. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get on. So here I am. You notice anything different? I'm a little lighter today. So we decided, so I've got a new hairdresser right now because Tegan is not cutting hair. And she colored it, and it is so pretty. It is like, it's more subtle than I used to have it, but it looks more natural, and I'm loving it. I told the lady today when she was cutting my hair, Melissa, because everyone's doing the really short on the side and the long on the top. I don't like the super short on the sides. I just don't think it looks good on me. I think it's not very age appropriate for a lot of people who are rocking the look. And so I was like, I want elder statesman. So keep it a little bit long and it'll grow out. And it's always a little wiry right after it gets blonded. So it's like, you can see right here, there's like a bunch. Thank you, Jesus, finally. You mean finally I'm on or finally I'm blonde? Michelle, by the way, you posted something yesterday. And it cracked me up. You were giving away, so here on Facebook in our neighborhood, we have the sharing network. And it's basically where you can post things that you want to get rid of. You're not charging for them, it's free. And porch pickup or whatever, just like, hey, anyone want this? That kind of thing, right? And Michelle Condre, who is on here, posted that, and you posted a photo of it. And what was it? Hanging wig stands. I've never heard those three words in that order before, but I am so glad I have now. So basically, it's like a wig head that has a clothes hanger thing hanging off the back of it and kind of like an arch like this, and it hangs. Things I didn't know existed, but now I can't live without. I need a hanging wig stand. So Melissa's 11-year-old and I have the same haircut. Yeah, that's what I aimed for. But I needed this. Rest in peace, Prince Philip. My sister just texted me a minute ago that Prince Philip died and I saw nothing about it on Facebook. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not, because I saw it all over my Facebook, like all over the place. Oh, Melissa's saying her son wears it short on the sides, high and tight basically. High on the top and tight on the sides. I can't pull that off. I just think my head doesn't do well with that. I like it shorter on the sides, but not like shaved. So Prince Philip died today, and you know what? I actually didn't know very much about him. The only really thing I knew about him is what I'd seen on The Crown, and it was not a very flattering portrayal of him. And I've only seen the first 2 seasons of The Crown, admittedly. I've not seen it. I've only seen the Claire Foy as the Queen episodes, and he was kind of a dick on those, right? And but a lot of, and granted, obituaries tend to be very kind to people. But a lot of the obituaries I saw today that I was reading and tributes and such, one of them was like, and things that make you think about it, it was like he gave up his career because he was already a military career man before he even met her. Or no, they had met because they're actually cousins. They had the same great-great-grandmother. Queen Victoria, their great-great-grandmother is the same. They share a great-great-grandmother, which is not like super close cousins, but still. But they, so he gave up his military career to be kind of her consort, I think is the word that they've used, for the 70 plus years that they've been married. And like from day when when his father-in-law, Elizabeth's dad, passed away suddenly, he suddenly was just like, my job is now to support her, right? It is, crazy. And then also he was instrumental in modernizing the monarchy. I did not realize this. So he is the one who pushed for her, what do you call it? Not inauguration. Whatever the British version, coronation. Her coronation to be televised. They normally would just do it on the radio maybe, or release pictures. They weren't very forward. The monarchy was there, but it wasn't like as PR-ish as it is now. And so he did that. Also, there was a couple of other things that they listed. Even the way that that Buckingham Palace is laid out, the kitchen was like a half a mile away from the dining room, and it took him forever to convince them to move the kitchen closer to the dining room because they didn't want the kitchen in the living area, I guess. Just interesting, and he helped rebuild. I think Buckingham Palace had a fire at one point, helped with that, and then also was Westminster Abbey. Did that one have a fire? There was some other big thing that had a fire that he helped. Melissa is saying that everything in my Facebook feed is discussing if Harry and Meghan are going to the funeral. Harry will, I think. I bet they both do. I think they're both still part of the family, and they're just not part of the firm anymore, right? And I think that would be a really good showing for the Queen to show that they're still part of our family, which she's tried to make very clear. They're just not part of the firm, right? And I wonder what kind of funeral they even do because of COVID, and England, I think, is really locked down right now, isn't it? So it'll be. I wonder if he'll lie in state, or if he will. I assume they do that, or do a parade, and how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna balance all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of interesting questions. I've seen some people say, "Oh, Harry and Meghan killed him." I'm like, he is 99 years old, and he has been in and out of the hospital for the greater part of 3 years. I don't think it was them that killed him. But the cause of death is not betrayal by grandchildren. The heir to spare, as Harry is called. The heir to spare, not despair. And my mom is saying he wanted a quiet funeral. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it'll maybe be a family affair. I don't know. It's interesting. And did you know that he actually was not entitled to the title of prince? That at some point in him being her consort, he either demanded it or she gave it to him or something. He wanted something more, and he couldn't be made king. He could never have been king. So I guess prince was as close as it comes. So he was prince. But it is weird that the queen and prince were married to each other, right? That's weird. But anyway, what else? What else was I going to talk about today? I actually just lost track of time and didn't have a lot of prep. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this might be a short episode. This weekend, we were going to lay mulch in our yard because our yard is nary a stitch. I mean, it's just dirt everywhere. Anywhere there would be dirt or mulch, it is just dirt. So Lowe's has, and Home Depot does too, I think, has bags of mulch, 2 for $10 right now, 2 big bags. And Todd normally orders 300 bags of that. And then every few years, and we put it out. We were going to do that this weekend, but turns out they didn't have it available for this weekend. So we could order it, and they're delivering it in 2 weeks, I think, because we're gone next weekend. We're going to be going down to Kerrville in the RV next weekend to Jellystone Park on the Guadalupe River. That'll be interesting. But we are doing some trip prep. We got to get making sure everything is going. It'll be our maiden voyage in Gracie. Got to get her ready to go. Also, we have friends who are borrowing Bernadette for the weekend too. So we should do it every couple of times a year. No, so here's the mistake that people make about mulch. They don't put enough mulch down, and they have to do it every couple of years. We put 6 inches of mulch down, and it lasts you for years. You only have to do it every other year if you put enough mulch down. and you have to get the no float mulch so that the rain doesn't wash it away. The issue with us is that it eventually just disintegrates into the earth. But yeah, only every couple of years, something's wrong if you're only doing it, if you're having to do it multiple times a year. Either that or your standards are too high. I can't imagine that we would allow ours to go to shit. And any good RV updates? Well, like I said, maiden voyage of Gracie is happening next weekend. We're leaving Friday. We're going to, so we have so Friday we have off, and then the following Monday we have off. And that Monday was a contingency day in case we needed it for COVID, which we haven't. Our school literally has had one case of COVID the entire year, and it was the second day of school, and it was the girl who sits next to Claire in class. So it is shocking that we got this far. Credit to our school for that. And then Friday is parent-teacher conference day, which is a day off, and we're zooming in on those. So we've got those in the morning, and then the kids have their global entry interviews later that morning, and then we're leaving straight from DFW. We'll just leave the car in Mansfield at the storage place and go down to Kerrville. Kerrville's like 6 hours, though, in the RV. It's a lot. Texas is big. I mean, I know I've lived here my whole life, and that my hometown is a long way. I mean, it's like 9 hours in the car from here. McAllen is. But you forget. But it's going to be a pretty drive. Hopefully the flowers are still blooming, the bluebonnets and all that kind of stuff. 281 and whatever that other road is just west of 281, like through Hamilton, or not Hamilton, Goldthwaite and all that are really, really pretty. So hopefully we will see some good sights on that trip. What was I just saying? Something I just said reminded me of something else. Oh, my brain, it just does not work sometimes. We were talking, what was I just talking about? Driving, going through, I don't know. We don't do it ourselves. Well, we do. We're big DIYers. We do a lot of stuff ourselves. Mulch is actually good for your garden too, Dave is saying. I know, it adds nutrients to it. And our stuff, so I went outside earlier. First of all, allergies are stupid today. Like, I wanted to claw my eyes out this morning just from taking the kids to school. But had to get outside. But one of the things I've noticed today is that a lot of the plants that we thought were dying or had died in the freeze are actually having little buds all over them. So that is positive news. Pittosporums are gone. I don't know. In Austin, I assume that's the case too, Melissa. But pittosporums everywhere are gone here. So they're all coming out. And Texans use a lot of pittosporum in their plantings. We have an olive tree that died, which we were going to cut out anyway. It was put in a place, it looked good for a while, and then it just got too big for the space. So we're getting rid of that. It was blocking my view of the tennis courts from the kitchen also, and can't do that. Lecherous old men can't be lecherous old men if there's an olive tree blocking the way. Michelle is saying, I'm freaking out. I'm taking my best friend Charlotte to dinner tonight for her 60th birthday, unbeknownst to one of her dear friends, Mary Beth, is flying in from Michigan to surprise her. Mary Beth got here early, so she's on her way in a cab. Charlotte is on her way from Merrill Lynch downtown. They're probably going to pull up at the same time. Well, that's exciting. So if everyone's vaccinated, you should be fine. I assume the Michigan one is the one you should be scared of because they've got like the worst cases in the country right now. They have that variant that's like ravaging everything. Do y'all plant a garden? And if so, who does all the work and what do you plant? So we plant plants. Our Kessler Park where we live is as gorgeous, humongous pecan trees all over the place. Also some oaks and other stuff like that. But pecan is the main tree. And the canopy is so big that very few people in our neighborhood have full sun yards. And so it is really, really hard to plant like a vegetable garden. We have one little spot where we could plant it right in front of the kitchen door. Todd will not let me even plant an herb garden there because he does not want some sort of maintenance thing right on the front of the house. The front of the house needs to always be magazine cover ready. And so, but I was wanting to grow some basil there and rosemary and all that stuff. We have like a pot that has some of those things in it, but not an actual garden. But we do all of it. I mean, Todd enjoys, and the Koch family, Todd's people, enjoy yard work a lot more than I do. We are the only people that have a yard guy that's not allowed to touch the grass. Todd mows the grass and weed eats, and even has one of those back-mounted leaf blowers and things that you put the poison on and all that stuff. And what else? We plant our own flowers, all that kind of stuff. The yard guy is mainly there to pick weeds and trim things. So he does the stuff that's not fun, that like just makes it look better but not nice, if you will. And so, but we enjoy the mulch. I'm not gonna lie, I do not enjoy putting mulch down. We did one year, we bought like the truckload of mulch. Ooh, girl, don't ever do that. Because it is a never-ending pile. And you can't stop at any point, because if it sits on your grass too long, it kills the grass. If you put it in your driveway, it blocks your driveway. All that kind of stuff. So we always buy it in bags in case we need to stop or just get tired of it. The bags can stay in the garage or on a pallet in the driveway, and we can just do it as we need to. God, you look so much better. I know. Thank you, Michelle. Ugh. I like that hey, so here's the thing I like about the new blonde. It's not brassy. It is not overdone. It looks like it could actually be my natural color. My natural color actually used to be lighter than this even. It's just gotten darker over time. But yay. There's nothing fun about mowing and weed eating fucking grass. Todd would beg to differ. Todd enjoys that. He uses it for, first of all, he has like a lawn tractor. We have an oversized tractor for a lawnmower for the size of our yard. And he just enjoys driving around on that thing. Todd's parents are the same way. Todd's sister Nina. It is like a hobby for them that I then get sucked into. But they enjoy it. Michelle, I'm assuming your pet comment is what you're saying to never mind. It'll be interesting to, in the new RV next weekend, when we're seeing Mike and Monica too, how different it sleeps and how it drives. Because I've not driven in it, other than we drove down on the highway like 2 exits and came back, just so that Todd can kind of show off some things about it. But so Todd also says that kids fighting isn't normal. Yeah, this is weird. He thinks that mowing grass is fun, but kids fighting isn't normal, right? Anyway, I now remember what I was going to tell y'all. So yesterday, I was talking about this dream I had where I was forced to draw a layout of the house that my grandparents lived in at the McAllen Country Club, which on Ben Hogan Street, which was like one of the nicest streets in McAllen. That the country club was surrounded by nice houses and stuff, and thought it was gorgeous and glamorous and all that kind of stuff, right? Monica and I were doing this last night. I went on Google Maps and on Zillow and all of that to look at the house. Shit, that whole area is just, I mean, there used to be like estate houses there, and they've all just either been torn down and replaced by shit. Like not even, like torn down and replaced like 2 smaller houses where one big house was, or just overgrown. The house that they live in is valued at like $300,000 now. The Google Maps, the satellite image, they had a big ass rectangular pool in the back. It's empty. You could see like puddles of water on the deep end. But yeah, that is crazy. So, let's see. She is Gracie. Who is her George? Oh, I don't know. It's more Gracie after Grace Kelly, honestly. But Grace Kelly is a bad auto reference. That's a bad auto reference. Unless I want to get... Was she decapitated? I can't remember. She crashed, definitely. But I can't remember if she was decapitated. It's a diesel pusher. It is. It is. So Gracie and Butch are what we're going to have. And Todd is watching. Everyone, Todd is watching. He was like, yesterday, I was like, I think it's hilarious when they warn me that Todd's watching. And he's like, yeah, I don't know about all that. What else was there to talk about? Talked about hanging wig stands. Already did that. Trip prep. Todd, if you're watching, comment. What else are we doing this weekend? I can't remember. we're not doing the mulch after all. We're getting the RV ready. I got a shit ton of laundry to do because we're all on like underwear fumes right now. There's something else on the list. We got to go run some errands that I can't talk about. Why don't you drink hard liquor when you do this? It would be more entertaining. Oh, girl. I gave up on hard liquor for the most part a few years ago because there is no good ending to that. And shots especially. I will occasionally partake in like a vodka martini, a dirty vodka martini. But for the most part, I'm a heavy drinker. I mean, I am like even with iced tea or water or anything, like when I start drinking, I'm just like, done, fill me up. Done, fill me up. So I have to cut back, and I don't really like beer that much. I can really only drink beer if I'm like playing golf, which is never, or bowling, which is rare. And occasionally if we're in a place where they only have beer, I will have one. But no, hardly. And vodka, or not vodka. I have an allergy. My seasonal allergies. If I drink tequila, if it's a cheap tequila, so like I can't have frozen margaritas from like a machine or anything. They have to only be top shelf, like agave or better tequila. But if it's like grain tequila, same with cheap vodkas, it just triggers all my sinuses and I start getting sniffly and coughing and all that kind of stuff. Monica is saying, I think the last time I was in the Valley, a raid happened on that street. Well, I don't doubt it, based on the house at the end still looked very nice, but all the shit in the middle looked like shit. And I remember Marguerite, I don't remember her last name, Jenkins maybe. She lived next door, and her house had an indoor swimming pool. I remember that, and I remember anytime we would go over to her house, just a wall of chlorine hits you at the front door. Like, never have an indoor swimming pool in a private residence. It is just the worst. When we were younger, Cooper always said he would never drink. I know. I didn't really drink in college. I actually drink way more now than I ever did in college. I blame Todd, and I know you're watching. But I would drink at like going out at bars and stuff, like in my lower 20s. But I would not really drink like at restaurants or just hanging out. And now it's like, eesh. You skinny dipped it. I never did that. I think that might have been when you had a girls' weekend or something with grandmother. I never skinny dipped in Marguerite's pool that I remember. But Marguerite, that's an old lady's name. What else? So you do have a wild side. What the fuck, Monica? Yeah. Different times. And P.S. she was skinny dipping with grandmother and Tarka. Or Shally, maybe. Not Tarka. Tarka was always with me. Anyway, glad you finally saw the light, Koopa, Michelle says. Cheers to that. Hey, I love it. This cup is looking at me right now. I've had enough waking hours for one day. It's Moira. My friend Heather gave that to me. And then I also have on my desk, I've got Love Mickey. You know I love Mickey. What else? My spell check keeps changing my words. Oh, you know what's funny, Monica, is that you keep saying, I read this as when we were young, even though it says while we were young. And I read this as skinny dipped, even though it's sinky dipped. We sinky dipped. What could that even actually mean? I don't know. So, what else today? What else today has happened? I can't think of anything else that I need to talk about, y'all. So I may actually sign off a little early. I'm just barely down on my glass, y'all. What's up with that? So next week, I'm going to be here Monday through Thursday talking to y'all. Friday, I will not be on next week because we will be en route to Kerrville and to Jellystone Park. Monica and Mike are meeting us there. It's a very expensive park, by the way. It is, I think, $400 for the 3 nights for us. And dinner tonight, I think I am... Oh, that's one thing I have to do. I need to do a bunch of meal prep for this week because I have a bunch of stuff in the refrigerator that I bought. So last week I did a big Walmart order, and then I did the Aldi shopping spree with Carrie. I still have food I gotta cook from all of that. Mike, you are getting into trouble with what you were saying, and I'll throw it up on the screen in a minute. So I got to do meal prep. I got a bunch of food I need to cook, even if I just cook it and freeze it. So now you owe us a full 30 minutes, Cooper. Monica, did you hear this? Mike is saying it'd be cheaper for us to go to Disney. I'm already looking into it. Actually, I was looking. Let's say Monica would kill me if I did either of these two things, both of which I have looked at. This is news to Todd in both cases. We have May break. We have May break in like the 10th of May through the 14th or something like that, a week off from school. And I was looking at what Disney would cost for that. Not enough, Melissa, you're watching. Melissa Ulrich, who is watching, is our travel agent who books all of our Disney trips for us. Not enough for me to enlist Juliet just for shits and giggles if we wanted to do that. And then the other thing I was looking at is Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas has great deals right now. You can see at the Wynn. It's beautiful. The kids would enjoy it because Vegas now has enough stuff that the kids can do it too. And Monica's like, you better not say it. And then flying out there is cheap. Staying there is cheap. All of that. And I was looking at that too. And I don't know. Or I think we talked that we were possibly not going to do an RV trip on the May trip. Or we could. Who knows? So, RV plus Disney. What could possibly go? I am not doing an RV trip at Disney. Worst case scenario, I might drive an RV to Disney, but I am not going to. I'm not going to stay in my RV at Disney. I better not say it. I don't know what you're talking about. If I was saying Disney, is that what you're saying? I better not say. I'm pushing 30 minutes, y'all. By the time I do my sign-off and everything, it'll be time. I don't know, but Disneyland is not even open yet. They're opening on like May the 30th. In Disney World, do they keep changing? Melissa, are you still watching? I don't know if you're still watching. She knows all things Disney. If you need to plan a trip to Disney, by the way, any of the Disneys, she does other stuff too. She's a travel agent just generally, but she has a very strong specialty in Disney travel. UPackWePlan.com is her website for her company. If you go to Disney, always rule number 1, hire an agent to do it for you. It does not cost you anything. Disney pays them, and they oftentimes will find you cheaper rates. This is what Melissa does. She will book the trip for you, and then she continuously watches it. And if any specials come out, because they're always releasing promotions and stuff, she will then wholesale cancel your trip and rebook your trip so that you get the cheaper price. She also she times it so she makes all the reservations for you for dinners and stuff. She does the Fast Pass stuff, all of that. But I don't think we're going to go to Disney. I did see, though, that Disney is at the end, Disney World specifically, because that's the only one that's open. Right now, if everyone is not wearing a mask, they won't take a picture of you. If you were on like a roller coaster or something and you have taken your mask off and you hit one of those photo booth things, they delete the picture instantly. Like, you cannot buy it. You cannot have it. It is not part of your thing. And then that really pisses off everyone around you because it's like, you fucked up. I wait in that line. Now I can't get my family picture on the Great Thunder Mountain Railroad or Splash Mountain because they literally wholesaled it. So they're relaxing that rule. I think it was April 30th, maybe. Yeah. Again, Six Flags is nice this time of year. I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far. If they were open on maybe like a Tuesday, I might go. Oh, yeah. She booked, so Monica and I did a sibling trip, just the two of us, to Walt Disney World 4 years ago, something like that. And Melissa was able to book us a table eating in Cinderella's castle next to the window right as the fireworks were going off. It was the coolest thing. I mean, you're literally eating, and she timed it so that we would get there before they started, but we would still be at the table, like not rushing, not stalling, just having the meal when the fireworks thing, because they turned the lights off, and then we were right at the window, and it was on the side where the fireworks were coming out of the ground, so we actually could see like some of the mechanics behind it. It was really, really, really cool. Remember how cold that trip was, Monica? That was in... What was that? That was in December, because it was right before my birthday. It was so fucking cold at Disney. Oh, Monica, they will cover your picture if your husband grabs your boob while riding Space Mountain and then stare you down as you exit. That sounds like from experience. Dave, I'm putting it youpackWePlan.com. That is her website. And it is, I hope that actually created a link, but You Pack, We Plan. Melissa Ulrich is the agent who does it for us. Tell her Cooper sent you, and she'll treat you extra special. The view from Coronado was superb. No. I will not stay. I will only stay at Disney if I'm like doing it baller style. Like it's got to be one of the really good hotels close in. I don't want one of those where you have to be bussed everywhere. So, alrighty. And with that, actually I've gone over 30 minutes now. So it's time to go. Y'all have a great weekend. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you for the therapy. Oh, and thank you for the fan mail about my new blonde hair. Looks good. I love it. And he meant the Contemporary. Yes, the view was great from the. We stayed at the Contemporary also and had dinner there. Melissa can book all your meals. Do the meal plan. It is worth it. Do not skip the meal plan if you go to Disney. Do the meal plan. You end up saving money in the end, and you have more food than you know what to do with. It's wonderful. And with that, I'm gonna say bye. I will see you Monday for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say bye?